For this example, we're going to be comparing rational numbers, and specifically we're going to be writing them in ascending order. So remember, ascending order means starting least to greatest. Descending order means starting with the greatest going to the least. So ascending order, least to greatest. The first thing I'm going to do is actually just sort of sketch out a number line. So it's just sort of a basic number line. Doesn't have to be perfect, it's just to give us an idea of where the numbers are. So then I'm going to look at the numbers I've been asked to compare. I have negative 3/4, 1.7, negative 6/10, 1.5, and negative 0.6 repeating. So I can sort of start with whatever one. I think I'm going to start with 1.5 because right away that jumps out at me. I'm like, I know where that is because it has one whole and then a half, so it would be halfway between 1 and 2. So that's my first number done. The next one, maybe I'll do 1.7 or 1 7/10. So that means it's one whole and 7/10 past that. So it should be past 1.5, right? Because 1.5 would be like 1.5. So I want to put 1.7 past there. Next, I'm going to look at the other ones I've got. They're all negatives. So I think I might start with negative 3/4 or negative 3/4. So that would be between 0 and negative 1. And so I'm sort of visualizing splitting it into 4 pieces and going to the third one there. So I've got that placed. Now I've got negative 6/10 or negative 0.6 and negative 0.6 repeating left. And so those look very similar. So I should probably take a moment and try to decide which one goes where because they're going to be very close together because they're very similar numbers. So negative 6/10, that's it. Well, as negative 0.6 repeating means negative 0.6666666 forever. So, if I was trying to picture that in my head, that one should be just a little bit more negative, right? Like, because if I rounded it to, say, 2 decimal places, it would be negative 0.67, right? Because 6 rounds up. Whereas if I wanted 0.6 to be to 2 decimal places, it would be 0.60, right? Because we can put 0 into the decimal place if we want to. So if I'm comparing 60 hundredths to 67 hundredths, 67 is the bigger number, so that makes it more negative. So it should be a little bit more to the left. Now, when I'm deciding to put where to put that on my number line, well, I know that's past half. I know that's past half because half is 0.5. But it's not all the way to 3/4 because if I'm thinking in my head, oh, 3/4, I know in money 3/4 would be 75 cents. So negative 3/4 would be negative 0.75. So it should be somewhere in between the halfway mark and the 0.75 and should be closer to the 0.75. Okay, so there I've got my negative 0.6 repeating. That's a little bit closer to the negative 3/4, and my negative 0.6 is a little bit closer to the halfway mark there. So now all that's left is I just want to list them in ascending order. So ascending means starting with the least, going to the greatest. So I'm going to start on the left and write them out in order, going to the right. So there we go. We have negative 3/4, negative 0.6 repeating, negative 0.6, 1.5, and 1.7.